Do you know when you find something out and you find out something that you don't want to be true, and it's so horrible that you just feel sick? Like you have no emotion other than feeling physically sick. I have had some issues with my health recently, and if you follow this channel for any length of time, you'll know that my leg has been a major theme throughout this. I've spent months in hospital. I've had around seven knee surgeries. I've got very sick from it. I've got infections. I've been like at death's door. I've had like everything taken away from me. I've spent Christmases, New Year's, like time alone in hospital. Long story short, I've got a condition called lymphedema in my leg. Like that's nothing new. I've had that since I was around 10, 11 years old. What's basically happened is what they thought originally was happened is it's where you have like an injury or damage to your lymphatic system in your leg, and it causes your leg to swell. So recently I went to Paris to speak to a surgeon, to meet with a surgeon. So this condition is meant to be incurable. It's degenerative. It gets worse as you get older. I'll put some images on screen, but like I've never really shown my leg when it's bad. I don't know if I will, just because like I find it disgusting. Like it literally repulses me. And like if you search this condition on Google, like go and search the condition that I have, it's like the images are horrible, man. They're like absolutely disgusting. And that's kind of like what everyone with it is destined to get to. It's not like as in, oh, you might get better from it. Like you don't get better from it. It gets worse as you get older. It gets progressively worse. Long story short, I don't want to leave you guys hanging, making you think I'm dying. I went for a scan and the results of the scan weren't good. So I thought I just had a condition that affected my leg, and it turned out this degenerative, incurable thing is affecting up to like around my bladder, up into around my kidneys, all the way like, but basically the majority of my body is affected by this rather than it just being my leg. I was always like, oh, we can just chop off the leg if it gets too bad or it gets to a point. And then the other thing that was not great as well, that has put me at a lot of stress, is that there is something called hyplasia, lymphogianoma, extensive hyplasia and lymphangioma. Basically what that is it's like a precancerous buildup of cells. So basically my lymphatic system, which is crucial for being alive, is filled with hyplasia, precancerous cells, and it's getting worse basically. So there's extensive like pooling where it's blocked, the lymph nodes, or you've probably heard of lymph nodes before. In my body, these are like 10 times the normal size. So they're all like stretched and they're all pooling all this lymphatic fluid, which basically puts me very high risk of cancer and dying of an infection, because if one of these things bursts, then I am absolutely screwed. It's not a nice thought knowing that you have this degenerative, incurable condition, and then it's also a pre-cancerous degenerative, incurable condition that's probably gonna spread to cancer and make it a million times worse. And then even if that doesn't happen, because my lymph nodes are so swollen and like bulging and pooling so much fluid, like my leg over the last few months has been probably the worst it's ever been consistently in terms of swelling. And the horrible thing about this condition is just the lymphedema in the leg alone, the longer it's swollen for, it's like an exponential decrease in your mobility and health. So as the leg's swollen for longer, it basically cuts off more blood supply to the leg. It cuts off more of those lymphatic channels that drain the fluid back out, so the leg gradually gets more swollen. That causes more scar tissue, fibrosis to build up, more of these growths to happen on your leg to grow thicker and thicker and thicker and thicker. And as it grows from these like horrible waste fatty deposits, it can't be undone without surgery. So it's like the more that happens, the more that happens, the more irreversible it is. But yeah, man, this has been all over the place. I haven't planned this. I find it pretty awkward to speak about my health. Like, I don't want to seem like a complete psychopath and be like, yes, I just like kind of emotionally shut off with things like this, or things that are, I think it's a man thing to do, things that are, I don't know, obviously not good, or like emotional situations that other people might find emotional. I just kind of shut off from it. But yeah, I'm pretty fucked. So the reason that I originally went to see the surgeon before I found out all this, literally one person in the world, I've been told my whole life that I'm basically gonna die of this condition, like when I'm hopefully older, but it's probably gonna kill me through some kind of infection. It's just gonna get worse and worse and worse until it takes away my mobility, until I can't walk, until I've got some like disgusting tree trunk style leg. But the reason that I went to see this one surgeon in Paris, like the one surgeon in the world who's literally does this incredibly rare surgery and has pioneered it, is because there is a slim chance that she could do something about it and actually improve, if not cure, the condition. It's literally like the world does not want me to make this video. Everything feels like it is against you right now. But I want to start by saying that, boys, we will get the surgery, whatever it takes, whatever I have to do, like, we will get it, regardless of the obstacles, regardless of the cost, regardless of the risks. Like, I am 100% doing it. Obviously, I'm fine now, and I feel like a lot of people would just be like, oh, I'm fine now, so just leave it. I'm not going to leave it. I don't want to die of cancer when I'm like fucking 30 years old. I'm going to do everything that I can to play the hands that I've been dealt, and no matter what it takes, what it costs, what I have to do, I will be getting this surgery. So I've confirmed it. I've booked in for the surgery on June the 1st. Obviously, that means I'm probably going to miss most of summer. I'm not really going to have a summer. Going to miss a lot of stuff, not be able to make YouTube videos, not to do work, etc., which is less than ideal. Also, financially, this probably came at the worst time it could possibly ever come. The first issue is financing it. It's not going to be cheap. It's abroad, it's all private. The surgery is all going to be paid for out of my own pocket. It's private healthcare. I have no insurance. No one in the UK really has insurance because we use the NHS, which is private healthcare. But because the surgery is abroad and the one surgeon that does it is in another country, nothing's going to be covered at all. So I'm going to have to try and find the funds to pay for everything myself. I might need multiple surgeries as well, which is obviously going to add up if anything goes wrong, if there's any complications. I don't really know what I'm going to do. I'm just going to have to literally pray that everything goes smoothly, or I'm going to be monumentally fucked. I'm going to be in another country as well with no insurance. I can't really afford to get like medical insurance before the surgery either. So I won't be able to afford medical transport back to the UK if something goes wrong, or if I need to get back to the UK. So I'm going to be effectively trapped in a foreign country. But that's not going to happen if something does go wrong. And the way I think of it as well is it's in France, and you can get the train from France to England. So if it goes terribly wrong, and I'm so ill that I can't get on a train, like I'm literally dying, can't get on a train from Paris to France, then I'm probably going to die anyway. So it probably doesn't make a difference. So, cup half empty, cup half full. The surgery is not guaranteed to work. It is not guaranteed to make anything better. The condition that I have is incurable for a reason, because it's an incredibly difficult, hard surgery that no one is really willing to do except a handful of surgeons in the world. This doctor being one of them, who's fortunate enough to take my case on. A real risk is making the condition worse. It could make the condition in my leg much worse. It could make my mobility much worse. Basically, it could make things worse. It's not guaranteed to make things better. It's not guaranteed to work. It could make things worse. It could make me more immobile. It could put me in a freaking wheelchair for all night. I know. It's not guaranteed to have a good outcome. I'm not guaranteed just to have one surgery. I might need multiple surgeries to fix that or anything that goes wrong. Or if this doesn't work, which it isn't guaranteed to, I then will need a lymph node transplant from like a different part of my body if they don't do that in the first operation. This is either going to be the worst thing I've ever done, the biggest mistake of my life, or it's going to be the best thing I've ever done. And I feel like everything leading up to this has put me in this position or mindset to make this decision and just to pull the trigger on it and go. Like, before, I couldn't get a consultation with her because she's so busy, a surgeon that's doing a procedure, and I was willing to do the surgery of like no consultation, just like fucking just go for it, just trust her. And I think like I've just got to close my eyes and jump and just go for it and make it happen, and whatever the financial cost, whatever it takes, whatever I have to do to get it, worry about that when it comes to it and just go ahead and pull the trigger on it. It's a huge risk for, even if I had the money, it's an absolutely massive risk, and the fact that I don't really have the money makes it an absolutely monumentally stupid risk. But as the saying goes, those who do not risk will not win. On that note, if you want to buy a parachute and you're watching this, I'm going to sell a load of my stuff. So I'm selling a Pilot 2 170 parachute. Serious inquiries only, please. Main canopy. DM me or email me, mosthammers@hotmail.co.uk. Also selling a 2019 MacBook Pro i9. I'm basically raffling off my life here. So if you want a new MacBook, what I've made all of these YouTube videos on, edited on. A few people have suggested do a GoFundMe as well, but I do not feel comfortable at all doing that. Like, I hate asking for shit. I hate begging for shit, and the fact that I can't afford to like front all this myself like is embarrassing, because like I would want to be like, if I asked myself 5 years ago, like I would want to be without a doubt in this position where I could pay for this absolutely no problem. And the fact that I can't, and the fact that I have to like sit here and sell shit and list what I'm gonna do, is really embarrassing, man. And my ego takes a huge hit. So I don't know if I can handle doing a GoFundMe. But yeah, that is the situation that we currently find ourselves in. We're going to fight it with everything we can. I will get the surgery. I will do whatever it takes. Obviously, I'm going to take you boys and girls along for the ride with me. I'm going to document everything, going to film everything. But this is kind of, it feels like the start of a new chapter or the start of a new journey. Like, this could be the worst thing, like I said, or the best thing to happen to me. But June the 1st is the deadline for me to sort out the funds, go to Paris, get the surgery, I think, and then go under the knife for this rare, incredibly intricate, complicated procedure. It's probably first of its kind, and hope that it goes well and does something and makes me better. But yeah, I'm just grateful to be able to be in the opportunity where I know that I can get this, be able to chat to the surgeon and be able to, the main thing is catch this. Like, the fact that I got that MRI scan when I did is so lucky, man. I haven't actually thought of that. Like, I went to see the surgeon originally in Paris because there was talk of her being able to make my leg condition better, the swelling in my leg and the things that hospitalized me. And then it's only because I went for that she found out about how like swollen and like 10 times the size all my lymph nodes were in my abdomen and my thorax and like around my kidneys. So I never would have known unless I went for that. I'll stop going on, I'll stop moaning. I don't want to whine and be like, oh, my life's so hard, because my life is freaking absolutely brilliant. But that is the kind of why I've been off with things, on and off of YouTube, why I've been struggling a little bit mentally from time to time. I feel like a lot of people ask me this. I want to wrap the video up with this, but a lot of people ask me as well, how do you deal with being injured? How do you deal with like training and like getting everything taken away from you, or like training through an injury or hardship and other things? Like, the way I think about it is that I fucking enjoy it, man. Like, sometimes I actually fucking enjoy it. Like, the fact that other people won't be able to handle this, the fact that other people will not be in the same situation, I know, will just roll over and die and like not be able to cope, and will just be a victim of their circumstances and just not do fucking anything. It, like, that shit fires me up. The fact that I have the option to do that, I have the option to roll over and die and be like, oh, I can't afford this surgery, I can't get it, like, I'm gonna miss whole of summer, it could make my leg worse. I could literally just roll over and do nothing at all. Or I have the option to fight it with everything that I can, and like realize that, okay, have the mindset that's gonna get you through it, and that's gonna play the hand that you've been dealt. Like, I love that saying, like I said, play the cards that you've been dealt, because you're given a set of cards, you can't change them, but all you can do is either play them or quit. The fact that this shit happens to me isn't great. The fact that bad shit happens to you is not great, but you have an option in terms of how you deal with it and how you respond to it and what comes about of it. The outcome of the situation is left in your hands, and you determine the outcome of that situation. So in this case, I'm gonna take you guys for a journey. I'm gonna show you the recovery, regardless of what happens. I am gonna make this happen. I'm gonna take you along every step of the way, even when I'm out for summer, out for months. If I lose everything, if I lose my gains, if I lose my freaking leg, if I become like a cripple, whatever it is, touch wood, that doesn't happen. Whatever the circumstances, like, I will show you that I will play the hand that I've been dealt and do the best I possibly can with what I have and absolutely smash it. But yeah, lads, it's happening. June 1st, I'm booked in for that surgery. Yeah, I'm gonna find a way to do it, make it happen. Somehow, we'll get it done.